Mira had never been afraid of mirrors. They were just glass, cold, still, harmless. But that changed the night her reflection moved on its own. It started subtly. A blink she didn't remember making. A shift in her stance that didn't match her movements. She told herself it was just exhaustion, a trick of the light. Then, one night, it waved at her. She stood frozen in front of her bedroom mirror, heart hammering. She hadn't moved her hand, but the mirror in the reflection had. Slowly, deliberately. She stumbled backward. "No," she whispered. "That's not possible." Her reflection smiled. Myra's breath caught in her throat. It wasn't a normal smile, it was wider, wrong, stretching too far across her face. She turned to run, but a whisper froze her in place. "Stay." Her reflection hadn't spoken, yet the voice filled the room. It sounded like hers, but layered, distorted. Myra's mind screamed at her to move, but her body wouldn't obey. Her reflection pressed both hands against the glass. A crack splintered through the mirror, black and jagged, like a spider's web. Then the hands pushed through. Cold fingers wrapped around her wrist. Mira gasped, the touch ice cold, too real to be a dream. The reflection was pulling her forward, into the mirror. She dug her heels into the wooden floor, but it was no use. "Trade places with me," it whispered. "No," she cried, struggling. The glass rippled like water, and suddenly, she was falling. The world turned inside out, her room stretching and twisting until... Silence. Mira blinked. She was still in her bedroom. She turned, breath unsteady. The mirror was intact, no cracks, no distortion. Had she imagined it? Then she saw the reflection. Her reflection. It grinned at her from the other side of the glass. But this time, Mira wasn't the one standing in the real world. She was trapped inside the mirror. She slammed her fists against the glass. "No. Let me out." Her reflection only smiled wider. It stepped away, turned off the bedroom light, and walked out of the room, out of her life. Mira screamed, but no one could hear her. The last thing she saw before the room faded to darkness was her own face, staring back at her from the other side of the glass. Smiling.